We enter Kamiak Butte, a Whitman County park. I am Dr. Bill, your tour guide to this experience. I am joined by a great team of undergraduate teaching assistants, one doctoral graduate student team member, and a team guest energized by this virtual reality experience. We see this island of unique geological terrain, heralding the area once known as oceanfront property. That was 70 million years ago, but sedimentary deposits washed off the newly arrived Pangaea continent to be tectonically pushed against by the easterly moving oceanic plates. This ancient seafloor was compressed, folded, and pushed up in a plate tectonic melange, forming this landscape dominated by quartzite. Flat seafloor became hills, crests, and valleys. By 11 million years before present, more geologic forces asserted pressures of change as the Yellowstone hotspot made itself known along the line extending from the shores of California, across Oregon, eastern Washington, central and south Idaho, and into Wyoming. These flood basalts pile 2 to 3 mile thick layers of basalts. They are heavy and persistent, settling over the top of the pre-existing lands formed before. The elevation of these lands was lowered by as much as 7,000 feet, pressing into the lithosphere and the asthenosphere. Unlike the glaciers of the current ice age, these flood basalts will never melt, and isostatic rebound will not happen. These lands are here to rest. Kamiak Butte and Steptoe Butte are remnants of the lands originally formed here, only their heads and shoulders remain above the flood basalt layers. The crests represent what was here before, but now wearing a snug basalt shawl. These resting lands were populated by humans, but not initially by the European settlers of the 1700s. Since time immemorial, Aboriginal peoples have called these lands home. These are remembered today as tribes and bands of Indians. In this area, it was the Paulus band of Indians, Sahaptin tribe. The Sahaptin-speaking groups living in the Columbia Plateau of eastern Washington, northeastern Oregon, and north-central Idaho included the Nimipu, Nez Perce tribe to the south, Shitsuumish, Coeur d'Alene tribe and Spokane tribe to the north, the Cayuse, Walla Walla, Umatilla, and inclusively to the west was the Yakima Indian Nation. The native people of the Columbia Plateau were not warring Indian tribes. They coexisted as nearest neighbors, competing for salmon, deer, elk, moose, and antelope. Families of mixed bands were common. With a father of the Paulus band and a mother from the Yakima Nation, a young man was born in 1800, Kamiakin. Kamiakin was of mixed Nimipu, Spokane, and Yakima ancestry. He developed a natural guidance personality by teaching through example. Growing up in his mother's homeland of the Yakima area, he advanced irrigation, wild animal husbandry, and community stability. He was dedicated to peace between peoples. Kamiakin became leader of the Yakima, Paulus, and Klickitat peoples. He strategically resisted warfare while refusing to forfeit the homelands of these native tribes to give them to the U.S. government. In 1855, he was challenged by the threats of Washington's territorial governor, Isaac Stevens, against the tribes of the Columbia Plateau. He was forced to sign a treaty of tribal land forfeiture. Kamiakin organized alliances with 14 other regional tribes. He led the Yakima War of 1855 to 1858. U.S. military forces overpowered the Indian tribes, and defeat was met. Kamiakin fled to the north to British Columbia and Montana. He returned to his traditional homeland of the Paulus regions in 1860. In 1864, Kamiakin moved to his father's former homeland of Rock Lake, just 30 miles northwest of this butte. These lands were named in his honor. He lived at Rock Lake until his death in 1877. Kamiak Butte holds significance as a meeting place between Indian bands. Nimipu Indians used the tradition of the Indian post office along the Lolo Trail, traversing from their territorial homelands in Idaho westerly into Montana. Kamiak Butte served a similar purpose. Travelers would pile rocks, called a cairn, to serve as a message board. According to old stories, Indians conveyed messages by piling the stones from 2 rock cairns in various ways. Legends claim that the high, windswept knob of Kamiak Butte was an obvious and well-known landmark where travelers left messages. These messages were shared between Nimipu Indians from the south, the Shitsuumish and Spokanes to the north, and even from the local Paulus Indians calling this home. Kamiak Butte was a natural meeting spot to leave these messages. Because of its unique features, Kamiak Butte location was a natural. We still honor Chief Kamiak and the Palos people as we visit this monumental butte.